Hi, how are you? Welcome to our devotionals. I got a new thing that holds all my everything. Before now, you would have laughed if you saw I was like using like little boxes and crystals to prop up my phone and hold everything together. And now I finally got a thing that holds both all everything. It's great. And so I'm excited to be practicing with you today, um, doing this with this new setup. A little something exciting and novel. Albert helped me put it all together last night. And it's just already so helpful. So, hi, Facebook. Hi, Goddess Temple app. Hi, YouTube. Let's do J.A.A. Narayan's translation of the Heart Sutra, the Heart's Perfect Wisdom. Uttering the sound of the three states of existence, I enter mystic union of oneness with the entire cosmos. In the three worlds, in the three times, my breath binds the sound. Purifying the body, speech, and mind. I take refuge and invoke the awakened mind of the goddess who knows all and hears all suffering. The Blessed Bodhisattva Aryatara from the deep practices of the heart's perfect wisdom, understanding that the five elements of consciousness were always empty, instructing her student Shariputra, she says, "In this world of forms, Shariputra, all phenomena are empty. Form is emptiness, and emptiness is form. Form is not separate from emptiness, and emptiness is not different from form. Always, emptiness is the same as phenomena. Potential or actual form and emptiness never separate. So it is for feelings, conceptions, perceptions, and consciousness. All phenomena, Shariputra, have the characteristics of emptiness. They neither die nor take their birth into existence. Neither are improper nor shining with purity. Neither are complete nor deficient in any way wanting. So, Shariputra, in that emptiness, there is no form, no feeling, conception, perception, nor consciousness. There is no seeing, no sound, no smell, no taste, no touch, nor thought. Neither are there solid forms, sounds, fragrance, sensation, nor conceptual phenomena. No circle of sight, nor is there a sphere of consciousness. There is no knowledge nor ignorance. Neither does ignorance get vanquished, nor knowledge voided. No long road into aging and death, and no liberation from it. No causes of suffering nor samsara, no stopping on the journey of joy and suffering. There is no clinging to thoughts nor grasping. There is no attainment of anything, as there's nothing to attain. With blissful practicing of the heart's perfect wisdom, obstructions of mind move clear, and the labyrinthine maze of thought impressions and delusions of duality are liberated. In this way, the Blessed Bodhisattva Aryatara enters enlightened transcendence. In the three worlds, all on the Bodhisattva path may practice the heart's perfect wisdom, and in applying it every moment find the nature of mind and enter enlightenment. So understand and see the mantra of the heart's perfect wisdom as the strongest of sorceries, as the most powerful saying of mystical and sacred speech. It is the mantra which smooths over all things, which disperses lies into its light of truth. This mantra liberates all, and it is said like this: Gate, gate, paragate, parasamgate, buddhisoha. Gone, gone, crossed over and gone. Completely gone beyond to the far shore. Awakened, and all is good. This ends the heart's perfect wisdom. And yesterday we were with Prajnaparamita herself in our divination. Let's see what comes up today. I'm really enjoying this translation so much. I had never seen this one before. This is a privately done translation by a lifelong student of the Dharma and its mysteries, and who reached out to me privately and said, hey, maybe you'd like to read this. And I am so grateful. Thank you. Thank you, Shri. It's a wonderful translation. Today, the 8 manifestations of Padmasambhava, the lotus-born one. A great teacher is a treasure. Seek to find one. Padmasambhava is the teacher who brought Buddhism from India to Tibet, originally from the Swat Valley, actually, in Pakistan. Padmasambhava is the embodiment of all accumulated knowledge, wisdom, love, and power of the Buddhist tradition. He was a human being born in India in the 8th century. He brought Buddhism to Tibet, traveling there by foot. He built the first Buddhist monastery there at Samye. He is the founder of the Nyingma school of Buddhism. So for members of our temple, we are in that lineage, the Nyingma school of Vajrayana. And he is lovingly called Guru Rinpoche, Reverend Teacher. He is represented in this card in various energetic states he takes on as a teacher in his first and his future lives. He transforms his approach to each situation in order to best teach in whatever way is needed. Oh, I wish you can see it. There's a little glare. Oh, maybe you can see it here. If I do like this. Oh. It's a little hard to get. Okay, how about like this? There we go. The central figure in this is the portrait of the monk king of Zahor. Below, he is represented as Guru Shakya Senge, wearing the 3 yellow monastic robes. These two are about the study of the sutras, the religious writings. At the top left is his manifestation as Chakrasamvara, in embrace with his female consort. In paintings, he is usually represented in that position, like this as Urgyen Dorji Chang, another version of the Bodhisattva in embrace. So that's his manifestation as in union with a female consort. Okay, below him is Pema Gyalpo, the Lotus King, portrayed as a cremation ground dweller, and that representation, he's almost naked. He's got the Damaru drum, and he's holding the bowl of red offerings. There are Buddhist practices done in cremation grounds because there are places where the line is thin between this world and the world of spirits, gods, and ghosts, many of whom are called upon for various reasons. Opposite him is King Lodin Chokse, the wise seeker of excellence, and that's in another Damaru holding form. At the bottom middle right is the monk Nima Otser, or the sun rays guru, and in this he is depicted as being in a enwreathed in flame. Below the central figure and at the outer sides are 2 wilder, wrathful manifestations, Guru Singye Dradok on the right, whose name means one who teaches with a lion's voice, trampling on any forces harmful to the Dharma, and to the left, Dorje Drolo, the subduer of demons. He is flanked by 2 of his 5 consorts, the ones most revered for their contributions. Well, I would say that they're all revered. Machig Lapdron and Mandarava on the left and right, respectively. And then sometimes he's depicted with Yeshe Tsogyal. There was another consort named Tashi Chitren, and I can't remember the name of the fifth of his consorts. There's a lot to unpack here in this card. It's a lot to try to explain Padmasambhava in a short practice, but I'll try. Padmasambhava was a human, just like us, but he was an extraordinary human in that he heard the call of Dharma and followed it. And he had the capacity to create tremendous sorcery, tremendous magic. He could create apparitions and manifestations. He was gifted in the art of debate. He knew how to argue against and for positions in a way that would help kind of break people's minds open so that they would no longer be hunkered down in their own position and limited, but instead they'd be more expansive in scope. He liberated countless beings just through his work, his teachings, opening up their minds, helping them see the nature of reality. So really, Padmasambhava, I don't want to make any like a comparison. It's not like saying he's like Jesus, but he is like any number of many mystics in this world who were humans, but then attained a deity level of acknowledgement. And he is a deified ancestor. We pray to him, we call upon him, we ask him for help in these 8 manifestations, plus others that weren't mentioned here. He's got lots. And in the Mount Shasta Goddess Temple, he is one of the the Dharma figures who is part of our work. So I think that if, I had to come up with like, what is a divination, a short message for the day based on Guru Rinpoche. I would say this: trust in yourself and in your own capacity to be extraordinary. Padmasambhava did not set out to be Padmasambhava. He just did what he was called to do. And in doing what he was called to do, he then came into an amazing level of wisdom, of presence, of magic, of capacity. And each of us has within us that same nature. When we talk about Guru Rinpoche, we're not talking about something long ago and far away. We're literally talking about the nature of the inner teacher. That is Guru Rinpoche's nature. He is the nature of the inner teacher. By following his own inner teacher, he was able to create amazing magic in our world. And by following the call of our own inner teacher, which is the only inner teacher, each of us has access to the one inner teacher. And the one inner teacher is the one responsible for the oneness of us all. When we follow that voice, that inner teacher, to benefit other beings, then we too have that Padmasambhava within us. And we have that capacity to do extraordinary things and to truly be extraordinary in this phenomenal world. So let's get out there today and be extraordinary. And that's our short bit for today, if that's what you were here for. And now let's go into Guanyin practice. We're going to start with 3 prostrations before the shrine. And let's take refuge in that inner teacher. Namo Gurube. I take refuge in the inner teacher. Namo Buddhaye. I take refuge in the great mother of compassion. Namo Dharmaye. I take refuge in the wisdom of the ages. Namo Sanghaye. I take refuge in the community of practitioners. And let's set our intention, a person, place, situation, or circumstance that will benefit from our practice. And I'd like to hold in my practice today all of the amazing intentions that were seeded by the women in our Dark Moon Circle last night for all women worldwide. And let's recite the four immeasurables. May I be a source of loving kindness in this world and all worlds, bringing a generous heart to all my thoughts and doings. May I be a vehicle of compassion in this world and all worlds, ever mindful and aware of the tremendous suffering of others. May I be a brimming vessel of joy in this world and all worlds, delighting in the happiness of others as their suffering is alleviated. May I be a balance point of equanimity in this world and all worlds, seeing all as equals and all as deserving of goodness. I light this candle as a symbol of the enlightening Dharma way. May it shine brightly for the benefit of all beings. I light this incense as an offering for Guanxin, she who hears the cries of the world, mother of all. Om Ahum. 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 Reverently, I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind, and present clouds of every type of offering, actual and virtual. I confess all my destructive actions accumulated since beginningless time, and rejoice in the meditation of all holy and ordinary beings. Please, Guanyin, remain until the end of samsaric existence, and turn the wheel of Dharma for sentient beings. I dedicate my own merits and those of others to the great enlightenment. 108 recitations of Namo Guanxin Pusa as we honor and give rise to that inner teacher, that inner Guanyin, that inner Padmasambhava the inner wisdom that has always been, that always will be, beginningless and endless, birthless and deathless. Namo Quan Shi Yin Pusa, 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 Namo Quan Shi Yin Pusa. Namo Quan Shi Yin Pusa, 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 Namo Quan Shi Yin Pusa. Namo Quan Shi Yin Pusa, 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 Namo Quan Shi Yin Pusa. Namo Quan Shi Yin Pusa, 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 Namo Quan Shi Yin Pusa. Namo Quan Shi Yin Pusa, 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 Namo Quan Shi Yin Pusa. Namo Quan Shi Yin Pusa, 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 Namo Quan Shi Yin Pusa. Namo Quan Shi Yin Pusa, 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 Namo Quan Shi Yin Pusa. Namo Quan Shi Yin Pusa, 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 Namo Quan Shi Yin Pusa. Namo Quan Shi Yin Pusa, 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 Namo Quan Shi Yin Pusa. Namo Quan Shi Yin Pusa, 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 Namo Quan Shi Yin Pusa. 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 Wherever, and these are the words of Yeshe Tsogyal, one of Padmasambhava's consorts, and a Buddha in her own right. Wherever there is space, 5 elements pervade. Wherever the 5 elements, the homes of living beings. Wherever living beings, karma and defilements. Wherever there is defilement, my compassion also. Wherever is the need of beings, there I am to help them. To the hungry I was heaps of food and all good things, and thus I brought them joy. To the cold and freezing I was fire and sun warmth, thus their joy. To the poor and needy I was wealth and riches, thus their joy. To the naked I was every kind of raiment, thus their joy. To the childless I was sons and daughters, thus their joy. To those who sought a lover I was a loving and attractive consort, and thus their joy. To those who wanted magic powers, I gave prowess in the 8 great cities, and thus I brought them joy. To the sick, I was their remedy, and thus their joy. To the anguished, I was all their mind desired, and thus I was their joy. To those hard-pressed by the punishments of despots, I was the loving friend to lead them to the land of peace, and I was thus their joy. To those in fear of wild beasts, I was a haven, thus their joy. To those who fell into the depths, I was their drawing out, and thus their joy. To those tormented in fires, I was a quenching stream, and thus their joy. To those in prey of any of the elements, I was their medicine, and thus their joy. For those who could not see, I was their eyes, and brought them joy. And for those who could not walk, I was feet, and thus their joy. I was a tongue for those who could not speak, and thus I brought them joy. To those in fear of death, I granted immortality, and thus I was their joy. I led the dying on the path of transference and brought them joy. To those who wandered in the bardo state, I was their spirit guide, bringing them to joy. I cooled the burning heat and warmed the cold of those lost in the realms of hell. However they were tortured, I changed myself to shield them, being thus their joy. To those who lingered in the land of hungry ghosts, I was their food and drink, and thus their joy. I was freedom from oppression and servitude for those caught in the wordless state of beasts, and thus I brought them joy. Those beings born in places of war, I protected them from strife and brought them joy. I was a truce from endless conflict for the demigods and was thus their joy. The jealous gods I guarded from their bitter fall, and I was thus their joy. I shielded all from everything that tortured them and was their every joy. In a way, there's really not an ability to tell the story of Padmasambhava without telling the story of Yeshit Tsogyal. And it's really in this way that we come to understand Guru Rinpoche as being in like every being, his presence, but it's not a his presence or a her presence, it's the presence is there in every being. It is that stainless Buddha nature. And by awakening other people to the realization that they too had Buddha nature, Padmasambhava became a Buddha. And aren't we lucky that he did? 108 recitations now of Om Mani Padme Hum as we send out that consciousness of Buddha nature into the world for the benefit of all beings. And that'll be part of our work today, is as we're recognizing our own extraordinary nature, to see if we can't help others also see that they too have that extraordinary nature. Whether that's just from our cushion right here, right now, or whether that's in a conversation, in an email, in a moment, let's just be open. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 And let's give thanks for all of our teachers. May all of my blessed teachers enjoy long, happy, healthy, productive lives and great support for their good works. May all beings benefit from their wisdom. May they enjoy a swift and happy rebirth. And long life prayer for Lama Dechen Yeshe Wangmo. Om Sosti. Through the powerful blessings of the immortal Pema Jungye and his consort, may the three secret qualities of the Dakini of Supreme Bliss Yeshe Wangmo be utterly stable, and may the light of her activities shine on the lotus groves of the teachings and of beings, so that they blossom in radiant splendor. And let's dedicate the merit. May the merit of this practice and all of my activities be of endless benefit to all beings in all realms, beginningless and continuous. May all obstacles be overcome and suffering cease at the sound of liberation. May all beings be free from suffering and its causes. May all beings have happiness and its causes. May we carry the essence of Guanyin in our hearts. Namo Guanxin Pusa. And we close with a bow to Guanyin, a bow to one another, and a bow to the inner teacher. And don't forget to drop your counts in the comments so that I can add them to this week's total count. Thanks so much for being here today.